Hello everyone, I'm Erin and welcome back to my channel Crafty Concepts with Erin. I am going to create a double page layout today with the Sweetest Honey collection from Close to My Heart. This is a brand new collection just released January 1st. If you didn't catch my catalog video walkthrough, let me show you really quick. So we have the January, February catalog, and you can see they've used this paper pack on the front to create this fun layout. But if you open up, I'm using the scrapbooking workshop. So you can buy the components individually, and they have a card making kit, scrapbook, there's, even a digital scrapbooking or digital art collection, I can say, with cards and scrapbooking, pocket cards, there's really a little bit of everything, stamps, and like I said, card making kit, but I'm using the workshop because it has extra bits and pieces in it. It has extra die cuts and some bonus pieces of pattern paper that you can't get just by purchasing the paperback. So I'm using the workshop. Let me get this cleared up, but first I'll show you the papers really quick. They're double-sided, so I've already gone ahead and flipped them over so you can see what each side looks like, but I love this one. I love them all, really. This one's gorgeous. It's like the Sundance on a distressed background with this beautiful stripe on the other side. And then we have this text paper. So text mixed in with some hexagons and some bees, different geometric shapes. And then on the opposite side is all text. And I love that this is scaled for card making and scrapbooking. It'll work really well for both. And then the last set of papers is this pattern here with the hexagons. And then the opposite side are these sweet little bees. I'm going to bring in two VersaMats just because we're doing a double page layout, and that way I can build each side on its own mat here. I also will be using some black and white cardstock. Now, a couple pieces of black do come with the workshop, but not white. So I always have white cardstock in my stash, but in case you don't, it's definitely a staple to have around. So I have 6 photos that I'll be working with today. These two are cut to 3.5 by 5, and this is my youngest son, Clayton, on his horse, Frank. And these were taken several years ago, but I love it. It looks like we're just on the set of an old Western movie. That is even a train going through the background. I'm like, how perfect is that? It's like the movie The Train Robbers or something. And then here he's just taking a break. So we were riding in a really cool location, which I'll tell you about a little bit later in the video. But then these I printed to 3x4. Actually, they're a little bit bigger than 3x4, but we have, just the rest of my family out on their horses and some of our dogs. So I was thinking of having these photos over here in this orientation, and then I'm not quite sure. I could do a grid with these like this. That might be one way I do. I'm not sure. I don't have a plan quite yet. But, there's lots of different ways you can do this. I like staggering my photos because this creates little nooks and crannies where you can now embellish and add things to it. So, rather than having them like this, I just tend to stagger them a little bit. We could also do something like this and then use some flip-flops to add the extra photo. So we'll see. Let me set these aside for now. We'll start bringing in our pattern paper. I frequently like to start my layouts on white daisy cardstock, but I thought it'd be fun to use this gorgeous background paper here. So I'm going to add a little pop of black around the outside edge to add some separation between the white daisy and the pattern paper. And I'm going to place my photos down so I know where to make my cuts on my paper. I definitely want to use this gorgeous Sundance pattern paper here. So I think that is going to look good. Yes, I like it. So I'll go ahead and trim these down real quick off camera. So I've created a frame style layout here for my base. I went ahead and gutted that pattern paper so we don't waste any of that. And now this gorgeous Sundance pattern paper here, I've trimmed to 9.25 by 10. I love to ink the edges, so I'm going to take my black ink and my little sponge tool here and go around the outside edge really quick. If you guys caught my catalog walkthrough video, you know how excited I am about this paper pack. I just absolutely love the color palette and the theme. I think it's so versatile, it can be used for so many things. It has kind of a vintage vibe. I know some of my scrapbooking friends mentioned they will be scrapbooking their vintage photos, and I think that's perfect. The hexagon pattern paper I've trimmed to 10 inches in length by 7 inches, and these are also 10 inches in length, and there's about an inch showing. I do like to layer them up under behind my other papers, but it is an inch that's actually visible. I'm ready to bring my photos back in, so I'll get these situated. And for the 3x4s, I decided not to have 4 of them in a grid. I chose to go with 3 in a line, and I'll add that 4th photo with a flip flap where I can even include more journaling later on. This piece that I trimmed off, I decided to pop this on the left-hand side to give that even more cohesion and bring those 2 pages together. This little sticker here says world famous, and that is from the coordinating sticker sheet. And this large cluster of flowers is one of the bonus die cut pieces that comes with the workshop, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. There are wildflowers out in the field where we were riding, so those floral embellishments just tie in perfectly. I've pulled the tag here. I'm going to add a little journaling, and I thought this little piece would look fun up underneath the title. I will layer another sticker on that probably later from the sticker sheet. But I am pulling a lot of these pieces from this layout here. You can see the tag and the floral elements, and I'm going to pull in some of those black flourishes as well. I thought this piece would make a nice anchor for my embellishment cluster over here, and I'm going to bring this little tag in and use it upside down, coming from underneath my photos. So I will slide those back on top. Now this little area where you can see the tag, that kind of bothers me. So what I'm going to do is actually mat these 3 on black cardstock, and that takes care of that. You can no longer see the, embellishments coming from behind there looking kind of unfinished. And I like the pop of black, so I think that is a win-win. I'm going to go ahead and ink the edge of this tag just to give it a little separation there, and layer that right just like so. The story behind the photos, we were out for a day ride in a place called the Red Hills. Now, in the summertime, this is not a nice place to visit. It's hot, it's dry, lots of rattlesnakes, just kind of eh. But in the springtime, it's a whole different world. There's lots of natural little creeks running through and wildflowers, and it just smells good. It's just really pretty. So what makes this place extra cool is this is where they filmed the movie Back to the Future 3. Now, if you haven't seen that movie, you should. It's super cool. It's one of my favorite of the Back to the Future trilogy. And the 1885 version of Hill Valley was filmed in an old western town, and this is where they filmed that. So the set has unfortunately burned down since they filmed the movie, but this is still the area. So it's just kind of fun. I thought the world famous title, I don't know if it's actually world famous movie, but I thought it played in and was just kind of worked with the story behind the photos. You can see I'm just layering embellishments from the sticker sheet and some of the bonus die cuts. Now this floral element here matches this one, so I want to bring that over to the right hand side just to kind of add that continuity and balance to the opposite side of the layout. So I'm going to create a little cluster up there. Now these little guys, I absolutely love these. I'm super excited about them. They are from the Sweet as Honey card making kit. I think this is such a fun card making kit. So you get to make those 16 of those cards, but they have the stamp and die set, and there's the die right there. So I just layer up 2 sheets of cardstock at once and just cut out a bunch of these. I have black and some in Sundance, and they're just really fun to tuck in. They add texture and just visual interest. I love hexagons. I use them a ton on my boy layouts, so I just thought these are fun. They can be a honeycomb and go well with the bee theme, or just used as a geometric element on your layout. This little guy I created, I had extra from some cards I made, and it's the same stamp set from the Sweet as Honey card making collection. I just created a little collage of the stamped images on the hexagon, and I had that left over, so I thought that might be kind of fun to use as in my embellishment cluster. You'll notice I layer some of the elements behind the photos and some on top of the photos, and I think that layering just really works well together. I've selected this pocket card and I thought about cutting it into another tag to go along with the yellow tag that's already there. So I'm just kind of sliding it under here to see how I like it. And, I'm kind of thinking maybe I won't cut it into a tag. Maybe I'll just leave it as a rectangle. So I was thinking of layering this little word phrase over the top, and I do like it. So I'll go ahead and cut that out or cut it off, the part that you can't see, and then I can use the other piece up top to make it look like one long continuous piece. I'll go ahead and slide the longer one right here. And then we'll put our tag back into place here. It would have looked cool as a tag also, but I just kind of liked the different lines. So we have a tag top and then the rectangle and then this little banner element there. The banner element I just slid in and the one underneath my journaling tag are from the coordinating sticker sheet. There's quite a few, and I think that those are just really fun, quick embellishments. This bee here is the country bee, and he's from my stash. He's no longer available. I had a whole bunch of these die cut out ready to go, so I'm using them up because they work so well with this collection. So I'm going to slide this one up top like I was saying, and then it looks like one long continuous piece. This is something I do with my pocket cards all the time. It just stretches them and gives them more presence and just seems, like I said, like a bigger piece. So this little sticker here, totally a vintage sticker. I think that's really fun. I'm going to use that to point to my title element here. And then I'm going to add some foam squares to some of the die cuts. So I like to pop them up. It gives them that shadowing behind and just really gives that dimension and more texture. And I just love that look. I don't really have a problem with too much bulk in my layouts using the foam. I think it's definitely worth it. Now, I did want to mention that on their workshop that they have designed, they added color to the flowers in those black and white floral images, which looks so good. And I kept kind of toying with the idea of adding some color, but I really like the black and white. It gives it this old time feel, and that's kind of the look I wanted to go with these photos, and I think it works well. I really like the word stickers from the sticker sheet. I think word stickers are a great way to kind of even complement your journaling. This one says remember, the one down below says moment in time, and over under my title it says my happy place. This little guy here, I'm going to do a little surgery on this. I'm thinking I want to give it a little bit more space out to the right. So I'm going to cut that in half and then just kind of slide it out to, again, just make it longer. I just want a little bit more of that showing. My little Cricut spatula, that is one of my most used tools. I grab that thing all the time. It's so thin and perfect for lifting up pieces like this. So I'm just sliding that out a little bit, and now it kind of looks bare. So I'm going to move the tag over, and there. I think that looks good. I like the balance of that. Just the little things, right? The 3 layouts that were pre-designed for this workshop are all gorgeous, and if you like to follow along and create those, Close to My Heart does a Facebook event where they actually will do that, and you can join in the fun. They'll teach you tips and tricks along the way. So I'll leave the dates for that listed in the description box below, along with all of the goodies and supplies I used on today's layout. I hope you guys were inspired. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure, if you enjoyed today's content, to subscribe for more videos, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!